Good morning. We're a couple minutes late. We've already gotten a text from someone. John Hansen's paying close attention today. He sent me a text and said, I'm waiting for today's antidote. So if you're anxiously awaiting us, I apologize. We were a minute late because we were adjusting something, and like a true renegade, we decided to start a minute late. So this is probably the time where you're going, these guys are going to solve all my problems. Thank God I'm listening to them, watching them. This is going to change my life. I agree that we're going to change your life, but it's not in the way you think. It's not in the way that everyone else promises. The way most people promise to change your life is they're going to have some huge aha moment that's going to change everything for you. And the light's suddenly going to become clear and your complete path to riches is right there. We don't believe in that. We're renegades. We believe in taking incremental steps towards achieving your goals. It's figuring out what you can do today and then what you can do tomorrow and what you can do the next day and layering them on top of each other to achieve something greater than you ever imagined. I'm Bob Graham. That's Tom Brush. I don't know why I say that, Tom, because it says it right down there at the bottom. But this is today's antidote for Friday, June 5th.
Well, that was a little innovation we came up with. We transitioned a little bit. And so now you don't have to tell us who we are but you know what? For that podcast, because, now that we can add it to a podcast, people can't see. They just have to listen to that introduction.
That's right. So I love this today because I'm standing. I'm on my back porch, which is my favorite room in the house because it was a porch and we enclosed it and the air flows through. I can see outside. And because I have a little stand now, I can actually stand up. And you can see if you're someone who doesn't like my distracting hand movements, if you thought they were bad when I was sitting, watch out for me when I'm standing because this is my sweet spot. I like to be moving and working, perking. We've been talking about innovation all week. And we've tried to cover it from a lot of different angles. I think our goal today should be, Tom, to wrap it up and I think the takeaway I want for people to get from this is innovation doesn't have to be SpaceX. It doesn't have to be coming up with a solution to every single business problem that you have in the world. Innovation is taking a step forward and achieving something that serves someone that either someone didn't think of before or that you do in a different and better way. Would you agree with that?
Yes, absolutely. And I think that there is the opportunity that we get there because we have a bigger, broader mission, calling, intention, whatever it might be. If we are just standing stuck in the moment and don't care about moving forward, are very happy where we are, then we're probably not going to take those tiny little steps, those tiny little innovative things to make a difference. We're just going to keep doing what we are doing. But for those people who want to think differently, they're looking to achieve something greater than just where they are at the moment. Those are the people who every day are saying, how can I make a little bit of a difference? What's the one thing that I can do? And every moment, the actions that they take are about creating change and providing something that's a little bit different because they're hopeful that they're going to reach that long-term goal where it is. And that's why I think long-term goals are so important is yes, you're absolutely right. We need to do the little things and focus on that. Now it's about where we want to be in the end and how do we try to get there?
It's incremental progress. And Tom, I think it's okay to talk. We didn't say we do this, but I'll do it anyway. And what are you going to do? Rip my plug out? But we've been doing a lot of innovation in the last week. And I think I can talk about this, right? Our project. Okay.
No, you can talk about whatever you want.
So we've been putting together a membership group and we thought we understood what people wanted and what they needed. And we've approached it and we thought we had a pretty good feel for it, but we've gone back and in the last 3 or 4 days spent a lot of real think time because frankly, the results weren't what we were expecting. And that happens. That's a reality in business. Rather than going, oh, woe is us, these people are not cool or whatever, we retooled. We've been talking to people. We've been having discussions among ourselves, hours of discussions. And it's funny, what we've come up with now is so much more innovative, so much more creative, so much more thoughtful, so much more valuable. And I would argue that if we had had that initial success that we were hoping for, that frankly, I think we both expected, I don't think we'd be where we are today, where I'm more excited today about what we're doing and where we're going than I've ever been. I haven't been sleeping at night because I'm so anxious to be doing more of it. That's a good sign. That's not a bad sign. That's where, I care. I care enough to pull my plug out, apparently.
You got to watch that standing up in your hand moving. It's all over the place.
I'm going to have to go church steeple, as someone told me one time. They're like, just stand like this the whole time.
And I think your point is really good, because it's funny. I think we want everything to be perfect. But the
want or expect.
What's that?
Want or expect. Because I will tell you, I expect it to be perfect.
Yeah, a little bit of both, I guess. I think what happens is that, I've been thinking about this a lot. There is no perfect. There's no such thing as perfection. There is and so if you desire perfection, you're going to be frustrated and upset because you're never going to get there.
That's me.
All right. If you are chasing perfection, if you were always thinking about, I want to get there, now you're going to figure out what's the different little thing. What do I need to do different every day? And every day is going to lead me maybe a little bit closer, knowing that I don't know that I can ever get to perfection, because there's always an opportunity to do more. And I think that's what we've been striving for, is what is this perfect thing? And because we're striving for it, we're constantly like, how can we make it a little bit better? How can we make it a little bit different? What more value can we add? What is the messaging that is more impactful to people? And I think that's the thing about innovation that I love, is that you never stop chasing what it is you're trying to accomplish, knowing that you might not ever get there.
Yeah, I think of it as a puzzle. And you're constantly adding pieces and seeing what fits. My wife's doing a puzzle right now, which drives me crazy. I can't stand doing puzzles. It's so tedious. But for my wife, there's this desire to just figure out the right pieces and turn it the right way and get it to work. And I think that's what business is. I think that's what anything that we care about really is, because we don't get up in the morning with all the knowledge in the right order. I do believe inside our head, we have all the puzzle pieces. It's just, as you do a puzzle, typically you do that outline first, and then you start to get closer to the center. I think that analogy really is what it is in business. What often happens, I think, is people don't start. They take 3 pieces of the puzzle and say, I'm done. Or they take pieces from 5 different puzzles and bring it together and say, here's my puzzle, it's done. And you go, well, no, this is the Queen of England and the Washington Monument. They don't fit together. What were you thinking? And I think that's the challenge we have. And it's also the joy, because to me, when I solve a puzzle in the real world, I'm really excited by that. And I know I'm helping people. And that's the thing to me. As we're solving the problems that people have, we're helping them. And as I help you or me or someone else with one problem, another problem is going to crop up. And the other thing that comes up to me with innovation that I've really been struggling with this week is, I think I know more about the world than I actually do. In fact, my wife has a phrase for this. She calls it Moab, Mountain of Absolute Bob. This is where I believe something and I will go to the ends of the world to defend something that has no firm basis whatsoever. Mountain of Absolute Bob. And if you're in, I think it's Utah or Colorado, there's actually a Moab, which is a city. Because I see the bumper sticker every now and then. I'm like, ah! It's so true, though.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things I've started to come to the realization. I saw a quote the other day about, and I don't think it said real innovators, but I almost think this. Real innovators are never right, or they're not searching or looking to be right. They're looking to have understanding. You know, we're trying to understand what's going on around us and how does it all fit together. Knowing that, and I guess that's what I think I'm just coming to myself. The realization is there's no absolute perfect. There's no absolute right. There's no absolute wrong. It's just a process of understanding of how do we get closer and closer to what we want or what we desire or what we hope. And, sometimes we can't get there. It's like, okay, your wife, here's the challenge I think people have with puzzles. They do one, they finish it. It's like you in the business. You solve a puzzle, that always creates another one. There's always another puzzle out there to be solved or to try to solve or to try to understand. And we can never do them all. And I think that, to me, is the biggest challenge in the professional world is there's so much that we would like to do. So much value we want to add, so many people we want to serve. And we would love to do that. It just isn't possible to do it. There's just not a way, which I think as long as we are trying to achieve that, we are going to find ways to continue to change, to pivot, to be innovative, to come up with new solutions, to add new value.
I'm looking at the comments. Frank's back again. I don't know how he does that. I've got to ask him how he gets it. I think it's the same every day.
I think he copies and pastes.
Okay, it's just so it's becoming part of my morning. John says, "Who's Bob? Who is Tom?" Which is funny. He also said Ringmaster. He's looking at next to my name. John says, "I think different. I want to be greater," and I think that's greater personally, but I also know, knowing John, it's better than others. And really being, to me, that's innovative as well. How can you, one of the keys to innovation is you do something better than anyone else, or your company does it, or they do it in a different way that no one ever thought about. Who would have thought? I mean, the example it gets me, if you had said 30 years ago, hey, we're going to charge $4 for a cup of coffee, and people are going to wait in the drive-in for 40 minutes in a pandemic to get our coffee, I would have said, no way. And then if you had said, oh, by the way, we're also going to give first responders free coffee. It's crazy, but that's Starbucks, and it works. I won't read some of these other comments. There are too many to read. I was going to read a nice one out, but I'm not going to do it.
So I'll do it. Stop, interrupt. I'm going to mute you. So John did share this about Bob. Because here's a shameless plug for Bob. And so what? You didn't do it. I did it. That's my prerogative. Okay. I'm running tech. I can do that. And I think it's a great thing. The other one that you said, and you posted this, so I'll jump this off because I know this is making you very nervous.
Not nervous, just very uncomfortable.
Sometimes it's good to be in the comfortable zone. Here's what I love about this quote from John. It's not that I am greater. I want to be greater. And I think that's what I love about that is he's constantly searching for how can he be greater. I think that if he had said I am, or, I know I'm going to be, it's different. I want to be means I'm constantly searching and thinking about how do I do that? How do I make a difference?
He posted another comment that really gets at, John and I are always trying to figure out why we get along so well, because we really are in many ways wouldn't fit together. But the thing that finally sticks to me most is what he just wrote. I want to have an impact. I want to be remembered. That is what gets me up in the morning. And when I go to bed, I really do take a minute. What would I be remembered for today? And some days that's not a whole lot. Other days it's like, yeah, I've changed lives. The comment you wrote about John's company, I think it's 10 employees. If I'm remembered for helping them be better at what they do for them, they went home yesterday, the last day of the week for them, and I see their texts. They were as happy as they've ever been. That's the kind of difference. I know that wasn't possible without my involvement with them. I'm blessed with those gifts. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm this amazing person. I just have a set of gifts, and when I can put them into play, just like you, there's a great opportunity. To that company, I was innovative because I came in with new ideas. I helped them implement them, and everyone was doing better. Now in the books, I will never get an award for having helped John's company. That's not the innovation that gets you awards. There's no Nobel Prize for helping a company be more efficient and enjoying the work more. I looked, it isn't there. But that makes a big difference to a company. Simple things, helping your customer. If you can help your customer when your customer is really desperate and they don't know what to do, and you do that extra little thing, whether it's a referral, whether it's extending payments, whether it's just picking up something for them that they didn't know they needed. You know, I had a service person a couple weeks ago who brought something to the house and said, "You're going to need this." John Wilhelm on this group called me because of my tech issues. Just a nice guy. That to me is innovation. And I think that's where we get lost in the world of it's got to be this huge innovation. And that's the key to success. And you do that too, Tom. And everyone who listens to this or watches this innovates every day.
Absolutely. We all have the ability to do that. And we don't even know that we do it half the time. The things that we do impact someone in some way. And I think we forget that, is that even the smallest thing can make a huge difference for someone else. And we may never know the impact it had on them. And I almost think that's the beauty of it, is that, you know, everything we do can have an impact on someone, and that's a powerful thing.
I've taught thousands of college students, and at least 2-3 times a year, I get a student who contacts me through LinkedIn or they call, and it's someone who I'd written off. They didn't like my class. They didn't like me. It didn't seem like it connected with them. And then I get a call from them and they go, "Professor, it's so great to hear from you. You changed my life. You really made a difference. All those things you said, I've been using them." And it's like, whoa, how amazing is that? And that's most of the time, it's not the person I expected. It wasn't the A student. It was the B student who sat in the back of the room and looked like he didn't care. And suddenly the light bulb clicks. And you think of how those things happen, because we hear stuff all the time, but we don't always react to it at the moment. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So Tom, what's the one we got heavy today. Yeah, it's Friday.
All right. Good.
Maybe it's bad. Maybe standing makes me more thoughtful. That's all. Don't write the comments. I don't even want to go there. I withdraw the comment. Tom, what's your one antidote for today?
Yeah, I think my one antidote is always be trying to chase perfection, knowing that you will never get there. That's mine.
I'm going to go a little different and harp on the idea that you have to recognize innovations, small innovations as well as big ones. And before the day's over, recognize something you do that's innovative to someone else or to you, and really celebrate it, because that's what starts that ball of success rolling down the hill. And then I owe people, if you pay close attention to us, and I'm not sure why you would, because we barely do, but if you pay close attention, we were going to do our theme for the Happy Hour Friday today was going to be innovation. I'm going to be a renegade, Tom.
What?
I want to do songs of hope. We need hope today. I need hope. Hope is what is out there in the world that we need more of. So songs of hope. I have a couple.
Star Wars phrase song.
What's that?
Hope. There's always hope. Star Wars thing.
Not my genre. So I will at some point be posting the We Are the World, because when you think of hope, you can't, and if you know what went on behind all that. And there are other songs. I'm sure we'll get Imagine. And that
give it away. Let people figure it out.
Well, I just want to give them a genre to start thinking. Right. So if you're in our Ring of Renegades, which is our free Facebook group, please join us there. We do a Friday happy hour where we post links to songs on YouTube or Vimeo around a theme. Our theme today is going to be hope. You go in there, you post your song, you can just post the link, and we will have this successive group of songs of hope, which will create a great playlist behind your work. I find it each week, I learn more about the people that are in the group because they post songs I've never heard of or songs I've long forgotten. I also like some of the people, I'm one of those. Every time I post a song, I give a little story around it. First time I heard it, what it means to me, the lyric that I like most. And in this way, we start to get to know each other better. And that's one of our goals in this group, is to not just be networking buddies, not just be these faceless people, but to be real with people and start to get to know people on a level that is music, which is a common area, which is their interest, which is, wow, really, you were in high school. This was your prom song. Those types of discussions. That's what, to me, creates a better group. So that's what we do today in the Ring of Renegades. We will be back later today at some point. I wish I could tell you when, where Tom and I will be mapping out next week. If you like to see innovation in action, if you like to see how the sausage is made, Tom and I have this meeting, and as true renegades, we don't just have the meeting privately. We do it in public, live, so that you can see what we're doing, because some people will tell me that that's actually a way to see how to build something. And you'll see we have differences of opinion, not that we argue, but we will often push each other by thinking through things. So that's available later today. You can catch that on replay. The last thing I want to promote to people is, if you see value in what we're doing here for yourself, for someone else, invite them into our Ring of Renegades. Part of being a renegade is saying to someone, hey, I got this thing for you. You should try this. Someone told me this morning that John Hanson recommended this to him, and he's been paying attention to what we do. And it's like, it's really amazing. It's changed my whole viewpoint. If you know someone who needs this kind of perspective, invite them. Doesn't cost you anything, and it's a sign that you actually care about someone else. So, Tom, we went a little long today, but what can I say? I'm standing. I got my arms moving.
You got all excited.
I got all excited. With that, let's close the book. We will talk to you again next week. Well, later today, but then next Monday, bright and early at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. And Tom, we're going to have to talk this afternoon about changing that time to earlier.
Okay. We can do that.
Oh, look at that. Nice graphic.
Have a great day, everyone.
Bye-bye.